Good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Thank you for staying here to join my session. This is the second talk from the last talk of this whole event. So we are going to spend the next half an hour to 40 minutes talking about network tracing with Microsoft protocols. My name is Jinghui Zhang. You probably have seen me if you joined the first day protocol talk in the afternoon. So if you have any questions about Office protocol test tools or parsers, you can welcome to come to me and we can talk. So in this session, I'm going to introduce two tools. One is Message Analyzer and the other is Fiddler for Microsoft protocol network tracing. And after that, I'm also going to introduce a little bit about compare the two tools, and we are going to hit when do you want to choose Message Analyzer and when do you want to choose Fiddler Inspector to do the network tracing. So what is Message Analyzer? How many of you have used Message Analyzer already? Oh, great. So I don't have to explain too much about it. So simply, it is a tool for capturing, displaying, and also analyzing online messages. It can analyze data not only from online live capturing, but also load from local log files or trace files or other file formats. So it can display in very different views. So the major, so basically the UI will look like this. You will see the major message here, and with the module summary, and also you can see the stack details and the field data. Some notable features I want to also mention here, just briefly. It can capture local or remotely after configuration. So if you want to capture some message between computer B and computer C, but you install the Message Analyzer in computer A, it's also possible for you to capture the files after the configuration. So this is very cool. And also it is using the ETW providers that give you the possibility to not capture the messages online on the web, but also capture the messages between different components in the one local machine. So there are lots of data Message Analyzer can support. For example, if you use Wireshark and get some capture files, Message Analyzer can also load the capture file you generate from Wireshark and load it into Message Analyzer. And the other way, if you want to load your capture file which you generate from Message Analyzer and view it in Wireshark. For example, if your coworker don't have Message Analyzer and he used Wireshark, you can save the capture file from Message Analyzer to the file format Wireshark can recognize. And also there are many other like text logs, event logs, and others, even circle tables. So these slides I want to introduce Message Analyzer parsers. What's the secret of Message Analyzer to understand all the messages, the Windows messages, Office messages, and in the future we are going to also publish the circle parsers. The secret is Message Analyzer parsers. We use OPN as a language to write the Message Analyzer parsers that can let Message Analyzer to understand the structure of the Microsoft protocol of Windows, Office, and others. So the under layer, you will see message and leather, and on top of that is the parsers for public protocols. Like we see, we are very familiar with like TCP, HTTP, IPv4, IPv6, also including like some FTP or RTP or SOAP, and some core Windows protocols as well, like remote desktop. And on top of that, here, these row are all Office parsers, if you can see. Office parsers, we have SharePoint, Office, Exchange, EWS, EAS, MIP. RPC is included in the MIP package, and FSS, HTTP, WAP, and also we have a set of parsers for Skype for Business. So this is the major features for the parsers. How does parser work, and how do you see parsers work? You can see the result by parser can help you to understand the message recognition. You will see them from the module. These are the SharePoint protocol names. So from here, you can understand immediately what is this message protocol. And of course, field data, you can see the XML decoding directly. And also, for some of the protocols, not all of them, some of the protocols, we add protocol message validation into it. What do we validation for? First is the structure, and then we validate the value of the fields for specific protocols. For example, if this field from the protocol documentation, it says this field have to be between 0 and 100. And while we are using this parser to parse it, we verify actually according to the protocol document, what's the value in this field. If it's between 0 or 100 or bigger, if it's different from what is identified from the protocol document, we will show warning. You can see this icon on the UI of the message and leather. So you can, when you use this message and leather to test your product or to verify or help you to debug, you can immediately understand, oh, something going on over there. So you click it, you can see the warning message, and you can see the detail as well. So this is very helpful. So where to get parsers? There are different ways to get parsers. Currently, we have two major ways to get parsers. For Windows, most of the Windows parsers, you can get the parsers directly after you install the message and leather. You download it, you install it, then most of the Windows parsers will be installed for you. And you can find them under this folder I'm going to show you. It's here. So if you are curious of what do parsers look like, where can I find them? Can you guys see this okay? Okay. And if you remember where did you install Message and Leather, or if you didn't change the path, you can find it under the program files. Depends on if you installed the 32 or 64 Message and Leather. And you will find this OPN and configuration folder. In this folder, there are different type of parsers. And also, on the other hand, if you like to develop your own parsers, which is an OPN file, you can also put your own parser in this folder. and restart message analyzer, it can load your parser for you. You can find Windows parser, remote desktop, and for different protocol, different purpose, you can read them here. The other way of get the message analyzer parsers for Office is different. In Office, if you just install message analyzer, you probably can't see any Office parsers there. But then if you go to, I'm going to show you here. So this is message analyzer. If you go to Tools, Asset Manager, Downloads, you will see all access types here, and to be quicker make you quicker find the OPN packages, filter as OPN packages, and you can find all of the Office parsers, including Exchange, EAS, EWS, MyP, FSS, WALP, and also you can find SharePoint and SCAP for business. So if you want to use Office protocols using message analyzer, this is an additional step you do. You go to these downloads and you download these parsers. And then I recommend you to stay online for the parser updates as well. You can set it online, you can set it offline. Like I always set it online. Any questions here? Okay, Office parser packages, I just introduced how many packages do we have, and also you can find the detailed information, what are the protocol in specific package by downloading these parsers. I see most of us have used message analyzer, but I'm going to still demo how do you use it and how do you see the message in this UI. This is a EAS capture file I got when I do some simple operation use EAS. And in this UI, you can see you can new section to do new capture, and you can also load the capture file directly. This model, you can find what is the protocol I'm looking for, and from the summary, you can find what the operation is there. For example, in this capture file, I just did some simple folder create and send mail and folder update operations. If you want to debug into one message, like folder create, you click that message and you can find the detail in the details window. In this message, what I did is you can see from the field data of all this content, and also you can see the structure of this message by click the detailed. We can see on this message we create a folder with this folder name, and then server send me a response. with all the details. So this is how simple message and letter is when you load a capture file. Okay. Any questions here? If not, we are going to move to If not, we are going to move to the next session, which is Fiddler Office Inspectors. So how many of you use Fiddler? Have used Fiddler before? Oh, cool. So we heard lots of, Fiddler is very popular in the industry as well. So we also developed Fiddler Inspector for a set of Office protocols. So for developers who are familiar with Fiddler and they didn't want to install another capture tool, they can use Fiddler directly with these inspectors to pass the Office protocols. And the Fiddler inspectors, we have 2 packages, including 5 OPN parsers in the WALP and FSS HTTP protocol, and also 15 exchange MIP protocols. And all the source code have been published in GitHub. So if you go to GitHub Office Inspector for Fiddler, you can find this project directly. You can download it, you can clone it, contribute back as well, or you can just download it and install it for your Fiddler. So what are the major features for Fiddler Inspector? We added another column called MS protocol here. So in Fiddler, you can also understand what is the specific Office protocol you are using in this message. And as well, we added different tabs for different packages, MIP or FSS, HTTP, and WALP tabs to see the detailed structure of this Office protocol message. So let me do a simple demo for Office Fiddler Inspector. How do you get it? As we mentioned, after we get into this GitHub, search for Office Inspector, or if you can remember the full name, that's perfect. You can see different packages and with a very detailed README file. And in this file, I highly recommend if you want to try it out, you follow the steps. And it's pretty simple. Within several minutes, you can install the Fiddler Inspector. You can download this Fiddler Inspector to your own local machine. Basically, there are 2 things you want to do. One is after you got the folder, I'll use this to introduce. After you got this folder, for example, you are interested in MIP Fiddler Inspector, and you will see the MIP Fiddler Inspector DLL. So just copy this DLL into the OPN folder in under the program files folder, the OPN folder I just demoed to you, and you got the pathers. You got the pather for Fiddler for MIP. Oh, I didn't show you, didn't I? Oh, not Fiddler. Okay. So if you go to the folder you installed Fiddler, me see if I remember where it is. There is a Fiddler 2 folder. This one? Oh, yeah. I just remember the name of the folder. Thank you, Dan. So if you go to the Fiddler folder, which you install the Fiddler files, there is an inspectors folder. So very simply copy the MyPFiddler inspector DLL file or FSS HTTP and WAPI Fiddler inspector DLL file into these folders, and the Office Protocol Fiddler inspector will be installed. And at the same time, after you have done this, there is another step to show what is the protocol in this message. To add the MS protocol column, what you have to do is update the script for Fiddler. So this is a Fiddler UI I brought up. You can see I have this MS protocol, but if you just install Fiddler, you can't see this column. How could we do that? You will find that there is a tools and a script in the Fiddler. Bring this script up, which I already have it here. And copy the additional script from the README file of the GitHub and just paste it here to build a UI column. And then reload Fiddler, you will see additional MS protocol column in the Fiddler UI. So it's pretty simple. Then let's take a look how Fiddler inspector looks like. Here. I also load another several capture files in Fiddler. So the first one is MyP. So from here to here is a whole MyP scenario. Let's take a look. What did this scenario do? So one thing to remember, after you recognize what is this protocol, you click the tabs. Because I know this is the protocol in the MyP package, so I click the MyP tab, and you will see what are the ropes in the payload. So in this message, there are 3 ropes to prepare me to update. And then the second one, you can see I'm creating a message and get attachment table. Also set a column, query rows. So this is the user create a new message. And then after After the user create a new message, take another look. What did they do? The user create attachment requirement to give one attachment file for that mail. And then open the stream, set stream size, and then write stream extended. It's right here. Actually, you can, if you're familiar with ask code, this is a hello world. After that, so this show you example for MIP with different wraps in one message. What is the structure look like if you use Fiddler inspector to pass the message in your Fiddler? And besides this, we have a lot more MIP messages. And to give you an idea, we just updated Fiddler inspector for MIP and newly released 1 week ago. So it covers the two new wrap message if you are working on the MIP protocol side. So the new wraps are included in this inspector already. And the following example is from WALP. So if we click the FSS HTTP and WALP type, we can see what are these sub requests is. What is the it is a schema lock request. It's getting lock and check lock, and then release this lock. So this is a user want to edit the file and get with co-authoring. And then what it does is it joins co-authoring and then mark transition complete and then exits the co-authoring. So the following would also tell you there's lots of data element. You probably can guess if you work in on the WALP and FSS HTTP protocol, it's doing some editing. So you can see the subs, what's in the sub request. See the data. And data element package. What is exactly in that package and how many data element this message contains. So this is very helpful if you are developing some SharePoint or WALP related application, or you are doing some co-authoring application. Okay. So by the end is let's compare. One, do you use message and letter, and one, do you use Fiddler? Of course, if you are familiar with message and letter for Office protocol and Windows protocol, also, you can find most of the supported parser files. Like for Office, there are Office, SharePoint, EWS, ES, MIP, WALP, and Skype are all included in the to support message and letter parser. So if you already started, and you are welcome to continue use this message and letter. And for Fiddler, as we mentioned, Fiddler, the capture file is HTTPS only. So we only develop protocol inspectors based on the HTTP or HTTPS. And also, Now we have MyP and WALP FSSHP package for Fiddler Inspector, which belongs to the Office family. If you want other Office or EWIs, you can talk to us. You probably can also find other EAIs Fiddler Inspectors online. That we didn't develop that. That's a public. So that doesn't belong to Microsoft, belong to our team, but it's also available for you to use. And I want to call out that this Office Fiddler Inspector files is public, it's open source in GitHub, so you are welcome to use them and also write the issues if you met any, and also welcome to contribute back. So we are open to hear any feedback from you. These are some resources to use message analyzer or parser. You can all these slides, you can get all these slides after this event. So you can download it, and operation guide blog is also a very good place to get familiar or understand more about message analyzer. And for Fiddler, you can get them from GitHub, and also Interop blog, you can find information as well. So that's what I have today. Questions? Will you try it out? Yeah, right? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.